That is a jump into the irrational. It is a jump into meaninglessness.
It's not saying words have no meaning. It's saying that words could have different meanings to different people.
Oh, that's not postmodernism. We've known that for years.
That's exactly what.
No, it is not. Postmodernism is a deep conviction that everything is ultimately meaningless, everything is ultimately relative.
A disagreement erupts over whether meaning can survive if everything becomes relative. One side warns that once words lose fixed reference, communication collapses and reason can't hold. The other argues that people still share enough context to understand each other, even if definitions shift with time and place. But where is the line between flexibility and meaninglessness? If language can mean different things to different people, what makes any claim truly wrong? And if it can't, why do disagreements feel so real? Let's dive in.
Just because you don't believe up is down, or up is down, doesn't. Just because you believe that up is down doesn't make up down. But just because he believes that the day is something different than I believe the day is doesn't make both of us wrong. Necessarily, does it? It's just he's hooking up with this word. He feels that the day is something, it means something different than I believe the day means. Is that correct?
No, I would disagree. If I say to you, today is Friday, I think you're going to have to work real hard and ask me, what on earth are you talking about? Today's not Friday, today is Wednesday. Now, the difficult question comes in when it comes to different literary styles, metaphor, allegory, poetry, apocalyptic literature. Jesus says, I am the door. Whoever enters through me shall be saved. You don't interpret that to Jesus claiming to be two pieces of plywood slapped together. You understand he's talking figuratively. So when you deal with poetry in Psalms, under God's feathers, we will find refuge. We're not interpreting that to mean God is a cosmic chicken and we find safety under his wings. So in Genesis chapter 1, when there's Hebrew poetry involved, and when the word day is used, it can legitimately mean a 24-hour period of time, but it can also mean a longer period of time. If I say to you, in the day of Alexander the Great, many battles were fought, you do not understand me to be referring to a 24-hour period of time, but to a longer period of time. Legitimately, the word day can mean 24 hours, and it can also mean a longer period of time, like in the day of Herodotus.
Mother is the same way. When I say mom is good,
Okay?
someone who is abused by their mother does not agree with that statement. They look up with this completely differently. Mother is a whole different concept for them. Mother is not good for them, but it is good for me. It depends on your time and place. This isn't really a religious debate as much as what you said, up cannot be down. But mother can be something very different.
Yes.
It's the difference between postmodernism and naive realism. You're taking the naive realist belief that words are inherent in reality, that when I say tree, there is the essence of this tree in that symbol. Tree is a symbol that we use to represent that and that and that, and grass is in this, but there is no symbol that says grass in that, or tree that says tree. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Mother is not the same thing to everyone. It can be. And so I'm just having trouble with you saying that there is exact reality in each word. And I don't think that's true.
Okay.
Even if it says something as east as west and what the sun rises in the west.
And I have real problems with postmodernism and relativism. Because if you take your postmodernism and your relativism seriously, communication breaks down totally.
It does. And 50% of marriages don't last.
That has nothing to do with postmodernism.
No, but they
In
can't
fact-
communicate. They can't communicate.
No, that's not true at all.
Okay, then
They can communicate just fine.
then why did they break? Why did they get married in the first place?
You tell me.
Why can't parents communicate with their
You
children?
tell me. Do you really honestly think that divorces take place because people are unable to communicate?
Yes.
I think that's
Absolutely.
totally false. I think there's absolutely no communication breakdown.
How about
I
parents
think they
and children?
hate each other's guts because they both are selfish people, the way I am, and it's incredibly easy for me to be selfish. I don't think the problem is communication at all. I work counseling couples all the time. I can promise you they are incredibly good at communication. They communicate their disdain, their disagreement, their selfishness very well.
They did not communicate that selfishness, though, when they first got married.
That's correct, because they didn't have to live quite so intimately together.
But you're still selfish, no matter
Yeah.
what situation.
That's right. And we can hide it very, very well. We're very sophisticated at that. But then when you put the rubber to the road in terms of living together day in and day out, it's either my way or the highway. Am I willing to be humble and compromise, or am I going to stick it and say, no, this is my way? Now all of a sudden we got major problems.
You said you can hide it very well, and you're hiding it beneath symbols of "I love you" and "You are the absolute soulmate for me," and this is hidden. It's all hidden beneath that. There's stuff that is not communicated. Reality is not communicated explicitly. It's not a perfect translation. Parents cannot communicate with their children, and children cannot communicate with their parents.
Obviously there's communication problems, yes.
Okay.
But that's not the crux of the problem. The crux of the problem is we communicate very clearly, and we hurt each other, we're demeaning to each other, we're selfish, we're sexist, we're racist, and we communicate real clearly.
You just said that there's a problem with communication.
Yeah, there's also a problem with communication. There's also a problem with environment. There's also a problem with heredity. There's also a problem with genetics. There are all types of problems. But the real issue is, and when it comes to a marriage breakdown, usually, is not communication. The real issue is, I want to do it my way. I'm a self-centered rascal. I don't want to serve you. I don't want to love you. I want it my way. And then the fireworks break out. Time after time, as a marriage counselor, I bump into it. It's not like they can't speak the human language and communicate clearly. They communicate all too clearly. They don't know how to control their tongue. Instead, they'll look the other person in the face and call them some horribly dirty names. They'll use the F word all over that other person. That's not poor communication. That's wrong communication.
But it was poor communication to begin with. There was communication failure that led to them believing that they're salty. I guess it's very getting in the loop now.
Postmodernism leads to the total destruction of Michigan State University. Postmodernism leads to the idea that you cannot communicate because words have no real meaning. That is a jump into the irrational. It is a jump into meaninglessness.
It's not saying words have no meaning. It's saying that words could have different meanings to different people.
Oh, that's not postmodernism. We've known that for years.
That's exactly what.
No, it is not. Postmodernism is a deep conviction that everything is ultimately meaningless, everything is ultimately relative.
No, that's nihilism.
We've known for years. Well, that's exactly what postmodernism leads to.
Completely different concept.
Yeah.
No, it is not. It is logical, taking out to a logical conclusion relativism. I respect Nietzsche, I respect Camus, Sartre. They took that relativism to its logical conclusion.
I believe that the Bible has good words.
Completely different subject. when you say
No, it's
that
not.
everything has no meaning. There's complete meaning in the way that I love my mother. I mean, that no one can deny me that that's real, and I believe that that is real. However, we do have communication difficulties.
All right.
And the words, we hook up differently because we were brought up to believe words have different meanings
Yes.
and everything, and a different time and place and all.
Sure. You
No,
bet.
And that is what postmodernism is. I believe.
No, postmodernism goes far beyond that. Far beyond that.
Okay. How's that?
Postmodernism embraces relativism 100%. It's all relative. It's totally relative. It's all something you create in your head.
Relative to time and place.
Yeah. And you take relativism out and try and live it out, and it's impossible.
Living a life.
Communication breaks down. Reason breaks down. There's no basis for disagreement or agreement because language means nothing. It's just you create your own meaning in your head. I create my own meaning in my head. It's a total disconnect.
And we've already said that there's problems with communication. You admitted it yourself. And so why is that so illogical?
We agree there are all types of communication problems. But that does not mean that you and I cannot communicate in a meaningful way.
Because you're both the product of a similar time and place. We're both a product of American pop culture, a product of American consumer culture, a product possibly of Christianity. There are similarities. It's not saying that it's totally irrelevant and we can't communicate at all. It's saying that if you are relative to your time and place, if you're both the product of the similar time and place, then you will be able to communicate a little bit.
Good.
But if you try and go and talk to some Neanderthal, or just after the Neanderthal, is still living in a cave. I mean,
Right.
You can't communicate.
Obviously, you bet.
That's what postmodern is.
No way. It's real simple. Go to any university in America today. Ask in a class who believes everything's relative. About 2/3 to 3/4 of the hands are going to go up. Everything's relative. There's a philosophy professor at the University of Illinois named Professor Wenger. At the beginning of class, Professor Wenger asks his students, do you believe everything's relative? Well over 50% of the hands go up. Professor Wenger continues, I'm going to grade you students this year according to the following. Tall students will get A's, short students will flunk. Immediately, the wisecrack tall student in the back of the class says, right on, I love it. Immediately, the shorter students are saying, wait a second, that's not fair. That's not fair. Wenger says, I'm sorry, you don't understand. I am the professor. You have said that everything is relative. I have determined that the way I grade is, tall students get A's, short students flunk. Then Professor Wenger, the philosophy professor at the University of Illinois, continues, pointing out to students that if you really believe in relativism, you cannot live it out. It's impossible. Because you and I are wired in such a way that we understand fairness and justice.